Let's talk about something good in bucket fills. Are we excited for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we got? I have a closing tomorrow. Happy day.
Oh.
That's a good one. What else? What else is good?
It's Christmas time. That's good.
Kevin, did you have an energy drink?
Haven't discovered Celsius.
Yeah, I was like, did you go in and get a Zoa for my fridge or what's going on? I love it.
Yesterday was a lot of fun too, Derek. Kami, Jelena, and I got together and started talking some 2024 and pretty excited for 2024 and good lunch. So that was good.
I was gonna fill all three of your buckets too. It was great conversation and learn some stuff. Set a plan for next year.
Whoa, that's
Mhm.
weird.
I know. I mean,
That was a good day.
not even January yet.
Okay. And there's that. What else is good? I know something good that happened to someone last week.
There was a mom that came to pick up a bed that I was donating at our house, and it turns out she was picking it up for her brother who just got custody of his kids, just lost his job. The mom had abandoned the kids and left them in really dire situation. And so I reached out to my neighborhood page, and it's been like Christmas, all the stuff that has shown up on my front porch. It's been amazing. Like, people are leaving wrapping paper. People are buying like brand new gifts for these kids. And the dad is just overwhelmed with it. And, I just did it because I saw the picture and I just wanted to help. But like, the way it turned back around for real estate is there was a family that showed up at my house 2 nights ago, didn't want to just leave stuff on the porch. And they sat in my entryway talking to me forever. And asked me all these questions about how did you get into real estate and everything, and they live in my neighborhood and they're empty nesters. And so, it could turn into something down the road. Yeah. But they were just like, thank you for doing this because it just helps.
Well, it goes back to the connection piece, right? Like, I think we try to disconnect what we do sometimes, what we do other times. And, we actually had the conversation of like, well, I can't go back and then talk about real estate with them. I'm like, actually, yes, you can, right? Like, that's the whole piece about connecting. They know who you are now as a person, right? And trust you even more. So it's a super cool story. What else is good? What other bucket fills? Frank, you just really made my day. Can I just bucket fill you for that? This is ideal. Ideal.
Well, I will say something that was fun is that I went to visit my wife in Florida. She's now back. We came back together, but we have a place in Marco, and on my way there was a tropical storm coming in. So I got there Friday night at like 11, and the storm was supposed to last the whole entire weekend. And of course, it's Florida. So Saturday night, it just went away. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I was on the beach. And I will say, as a Minnesotan, I was the only one yesterday. When I got to the beach, it was 59 degrees and sunny. And about an hour and a half later, it was 72. I was the only one who was originally tanning while hanging out on the beach. Everyone else is in like parkas and hats. What? And then
Rick got out that silver blanket, just like
a foil blanket, bring it in and put up a barrier from the wind. But by the time I left, everyone was in suits. It was awesome. It was great.
Fun. Super fun. Anything else?
Sarah and I always call people like you polar bears.
There you go.
People that are swimming in the water.
I know, it's like
You Miami native,
Right.
Sarah.
Canadian or Wisconsin.
I saw Sarah this morning at Target.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said hi to her. She had her AirPods in, totally ignored me, and then I was like, she's like, "Oh, sorry, hi." It was great. Made my morning.
we got another one.
Yeah. Whoever missed the the holiday party on Thursday, you missed a great time. So bucket fill, whoever organized all that stuff. It was a great time.
It was a
It
lot
was
of fun.
awesome.
Yeah, and bucket full to everyone that showed up to that, cause it was a good time and, got some photos from it. And always open to feedback, right? It was the first time that we had all of our offices together. So it's, obviously a work in progress of different things that we can improve on, things that you loved about it, so that next year we can do, some pre-planning on that part. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was good though. The venue was great. The food was great. It was easy to, go and get what you needed, and there was enough areas where you could talk to people and.
We definitely needed a 360 photo booth though again, from in the back, All-American title, but
Isn't that fun?
it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, absolutely.
I missed the weight limit.
I don't know.
They didn't even say that when we got out, and what Jamie on it.
And then we're like, do we get one more? No, that was a ton of fun. Awesome. All right, moving on. So we do have our A to Z class tomorrow for market share and for sale by owners and expireds here, and then we're kind of off until 2024. With that being said, obviously we at the office can still take a look at business plans and kind of different things that you're going over prior to the beginning of the year, so that you have a head start on that. It's not like we are not working. It's just the fact of the days that everything lands on. Yeah.
Team meeting, there is not a team meeting on the
We're
27th.
on a team meeting.
What
However,
else?
there will be holiday
Movies playing.
movies playing all day that day. So come on in and enjoy those.
Better job at.
Oh, this was the party. Like, it was super fun.
Photos.
So there was a photographer that was walking around. The only photo, please tell me you did not put mine on there. It's like me very mad, very upset or something.
It's you. Oh, is it? Oh, yeah.
I think just FYI, there's a photographer walking around the holiday parties, so just be very aware of what your facial expressions look like.
Is there somewhere those photos are at, or are they?
Can we share those photos? I don't know. I mean, they're in a drive, right? So we should be able to just share those maybe in the email, and then you guys can pull those as you would like. So, and again, it was like a general photographer that walked around. So I don't know. I mean, there's probably 100 and some pictures from every market center. So kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Rick, do you want to talk about this for today?
Yeah, this is at 4 o'clock right down the street. They're gonna be, well, raise your hand if you're planning on going. There we go.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's awesome. It's a great way to kind of wrap up the workday today, with everybody being here and having the potluck and the Secret Santa and everything else that's going on. And it'll be really fun. We're gonna talk about how we're getting business in December and just have a really nice time. Everybody can talk a little bit about what they're gonna do over the holidays and who they're gonna connect with, and it should be a really good time. And that place is super festive. That's why I'm dressed with this shirt, because it's kind of
You can
like,
wear those
bah.
glasses too, please.
Yeah, maybe I'll wear the glasses. Does it work?
Those work. All right, awesome. Oh, and then a reminder that we are going to be closed on the 25th and the 26th. I do want to preface that if something comes up on the 26th, we are available. We just aren't going to
Text
be
me.
in the office. So if we have to change a status or, something's coming online, please just text myself or Heather, and we can do whatever you want for the holiday travel day for everybody.
And no one needs to do that on Christmas.
Where's the 26th?
I'll make another work on Christmas Day.
Oh, I didn't say Christmas.
No, on the
I said the
26th.
26th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't text us on Christmas.
My phone will not be responding unless there is like something really bad going on.
Yeah, agree with that.
All right, so I just want to say thank you. I don't know if the whole ALC is here, but things have changed each year, and they showed up every single week, accountable. They shared things this year that were comfortable and uncomfortable, and it allows everyone in this room to be able to relate, right? Because all of the people that are in these photos right here are top producing individuals, and yet everybody has the same things that come up, whether or not it's business, it's lead gen, it's personal stuff. And they went out on a limb and were really vulnerable this year in sharing some things. And I know it's not easy to do that. So we, as an office, just wanted to say thank you and have a little present so you guys can come up here and take yours.
Oh, there you go.
Here's yours. Yes. Uh-huh. It's kind of, similar to the things that I like, so that's what you're getting. I know, I was like, that's an interesting family. Well, it's actually a chocolate hot cocoa. Do you guys want to know the story why I actually, so we like each year we're like, oh, what do you get someone to say, like, thank you or whatever? And, I think we all have a different story about different things, and you guys all know I love Yeti, and it was hard not to get Yeti. But you already have one. And the Stanley, it's interesting because everyone has these Stanleys, right? And Heather agreed with me. She was like, I remember this for when this old school, like this was the original Stanley. For me, that Stanley mug was what I took with my uncle when I was younger and I would go out deer hunting, right? And it was like this memory that it would get really, really cold in November. And he would always put hot apple cider in it. And it was like, he'd look at me and I'd be shivering, right? Because I was like 12 when I got my hunter safety. And I would drink out of these Stanleys. And it was like the thing that you feel like going, like, it just warm your whole body up. So enjoy some hot chocolate. I don't know if people like apple cider. And then you Stanley. So grateful for you all. Okay, so this meeting's not gonna be super long, because we have potluck, we have Secret Santa, we have, door decorating, judging, so we're gonna have a little sheet, right? Of all
Do
the
the sheet,
doors.
or we could email Lydia, but I could grab a sheet quick,
I
yeah.
think we do a sheet, and then you can write which door you like, because otherwise the emails are gonna get nutso, and we aren't even dealing with that today. So we're gonna have a sheet to do that judging, but I asked the ALC yesterday this question as well, the 2024 ALC. And I'd like you to write it down or type it or whatever it is. What do you feel most accomplished with in 2023? Like if someone was to ask you, what are you proud of this year? What would that be? Give you 60 seconds, maybe 90. Helpers. All right. Who wants to share?
For me, it was, as far as professionally goes, I'm most proud of. I finally started getting clients, people that I never met. And having. At most my. Months prior,
Lost 14 pounds.
you, she's putting in food logs today. She has been very, very strict with the things that she's doing, so that's super cool. Super cool. What else?
I got married,
You're like,
because I'm not a young wife. So yeah, but I don't know if everybody knows me, but I'm usually known for being ultra hyper independent my whole life. So successfully getting married and then merging and joining my life with my husband, and not just our home life, but our businesses as well, come together, and we've successfully closed out one development and started another one all in this last year. So pretty big.
No.
Amy?
Derek.
Yes, I think I said, that there were numerous times in 2023 where my wife Tara and I were experiencing something, and, in the midst of that, I said to her, like, I can't believe this is our life. And like, in that realization at those times was just awesome. Like, being in the Bahamas on a sailboat a month after being in France for 2 weeks and enjoying everything that was there, and everything is still happening, and there's closings pending, and I just felt really fortunate.
Not gonna get into some of the details, but I kicked a really bad habit this year, so I'm proud about that.
Nice. Super cool. Guys, isn't it fun to kind of share this? Is it just me? Am I like super cheesy when it comes to goals and accomplishment? Right.
So in a year where we didn't close what we had anticipated closing, we feel like our team dynamic was the strongest that it's been. Things went smoothly. And so when the market shifted a little bit in the fall, having, a strong team around you, it really does make all the difference, because we were able to work together. So I think that just the development of the team and how we worked together was the most successful year so far, even though we weren't as productive that we've been in the years past. It's adjusting dynamic.
That working on it. Cool. What else? Two more. I know we got two more. Got two more.
Jamie,
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm on the highway and, just saying, hey, on my way, but, I became a grandma. Woo!
Good one. I love that.
That was fun.
That was fun.
I did too.
All right, one more. Two more. We got two more.
We had kind of three big ones that I would say. We hit 1 million in GPI.
That's huge.
The second one was we focused a lot on switching from a marketing-based lead generation to prospecting-based lead generation, and we saw that flip in our business sources, which is really cool. Open houses and agent referrals were our top this year, which is wild. And then third, for me personally, that's me going away for 2 weeks and having business run.
For both, right? Like, that and the confidence of her knowing that. Super cool. What else?
I have been living by the motto, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I think that that's really helped me cope with like 70% of my anxiety. And it's really opened me up to a lot of new things this past year.
That's cool. I love it. All right, so whatever yours was, I want us to think about kind of the second step of this, right? Is a lot of them were like, some of them were business, some of them were, experiences. Some of them were personal accomplishments. So as we've done business plans or you're, thinking about New Year's resolutions, which I like and don't like sometimes, right? Because it can be an arbitrary date of January 1st that makes everything change in your life. I don't necessarily know if that's true, and the mindset can sometimes go either way. But what I would say, and if you were in the Leadership Academy, Jake mentioned this too, is when you think of 2024 and you have all of these goals, and I would ask the same question next year at this time, right? What's important about the goals that you just wrote down, or the ones that you developed since October, or whenever you did, or planning to do? And two, who's the person that you have to become for that to happen, right? I shared yesterday with the ALC that the thing that I was proud about is coming into this role, right? As a leader, you can come into a role and it's like you do the task. You come into real estate, you do the task. And throughout, my time, which has been about 3 years, I finally feel settled as being a leader of the office, right? Because you figure out, who am I in this role versus who am I as an agent? Who am I as a mom? Who am I as an individual? And my goal for 2024, as we kind of moved forward, was leading you guys authentically and as raw as I can, right? And I would say over the years, I've done that in spurts. And at the same time, I finally feel that this is the right year to lead you. And you might like some things and you might not like some things, and that's okay, right? So as you think about 2024, how are you going into it? And who do you want to be? And how do you want to show up each day? I'm going to give you about 90 seconds to think about that too. And have 3 people share. I'm going to prep you right away on that. Let's share.
I'll share. Going into 2024, it kind of all boils down to like me being more independent. So there's a lot of different branches off that, but just being more independent.
Well,
Share mine, since it seems to be in contrast to his.
I was like, this is funny.
So I have to be more dependent. And using the power of leverage to let go of tasks and things like that, as my priorities will shift here in 2024. So I will be more dependent. And I struggle the whole time, guys.
Maybe smile sometimes, maybe not.
Did you say the power of leverage?
Yeah.
Leverage.
I let it do my turn and
I was all like, what?
Well,
I'll go. I wrote down faithful. Who do I have to be? I have to be faithful. And that means faithful in consistently doing the right thing, the lead gen, and faithful to follow up. When you find a lead, be faithful with it and do it. Make sure that you see it through to the end, not just for a while and then taper off. But I need to be faithful in everything I say I'm gonna do for myself and for the business. And then the question of, so how do I show up? I said with consistency, with clarity, with purpose, and with joy.
Anyone else want to share? All right, so as we, I would take whatever you wrote on that. And I don't know if you're into journaling, affirmations, vision boards, whatever it is, just remind yourself of that because we get really excited in January and like going to the gym, right? I mean, every gym is packed until about the third week. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, everyone's gone, right? And it's the constant reminder that it's day by day and it's not going to be perfect. Like next year's not going to be perfect and things are going to come up and there are going to be, challenges that present themselves, weekly, monthly, maybe even daily for you. And that's okay. You have to make the decision on how you're going to show up and show up like that every single one of those days as well as you can. I think it's your turn. Oh, Kevin.
Can I say something real quick? I was just thinking about it myself as you were going on. I thought, well, maybe I was just right. I was thinking about, it's the end of the year. It's that weird time between Christmas and setting our New Year's resolution. And yet I reminded Dean that no one succeeds alone. And so whether we hit 100% of that goal or we hit 80% or whatever that might be, I think a good thing to do, I'm going to do, and maybe it's good for all to do, is to those that helped us along the way get to where we want, it might be a good time to say, hey, thanks for that. Like that acknowledging that we don't do this by ourselves, whether it's our family or friends of sacrifice or clients of sacrifice or whatever that might be. You know, hey, I appreciate you.
Absolutely agree with that. Oh,
No, all me. Okay.
it's not.
I get time today?
This is weird. Weird.
I'm like this. This is where I'm like, okay, today I need to be quiet at this time, and this is a hard stop.
Awesome. I don't have too much to say. No, I just wanted to pop in and just say, like, a quick
Before this is really whatever he's gonna say right now, which I don't know all of the things. These are really great takeaways though, in the conversations because interest rates, lending, buying is popping up everywhere, right? Questions around that. So he's here and it would be a really great time after he kind of does his thing and explains all this to us to have questions that you might be like, man, people have asked me this and I don't know what to say, right? And they're really excited to be able to be a resource and they're really, really smart at what they do. So go ahead.
I'll take that. Awesome. No, please ask any questions if possible. It's a lot easier for me to answer questions than to just go off talking nonsense for a bit. But from the market's perspective right now, I think what we're seeing through the end of the year, rates are going to pretty much stay where they're at right now. The Fed met last week and said, you know, it was kind of it's continued the rally that we've seen, right? We've gotten a lot better. But then the next day, the rest of the Fed presidents came out and said, whoa, we're not going too fast, too slow. And I think that's the key to the next year is they're not going to cut too fast. We're not going to see just a drop in rates, which is probably good for all of our business because if it dropped too fast, we're going to see prices go out of control. We're going to see a competitive spring regardless on that one, but at least this one, I think we can control it a little bit more. So I think they're trying to slow the roll of the rates a little bit. So we're going to see that. Where the rates are right now, mid sixes, give or take, depending on the scenario. So that's probably going to be the way it is through into January. There's no economic news right now that's going to push it one way or the other that I've seen or anybody's talking about. In January, who knows, but I think we'll continue that. They've talked about 3 cuts now in 2024, which means the market will start to put that into it already. So they'll factor that in. So when the Fed meets and announces it, the market will have already factored that into the rate, right? It's only if they go against what they've been indicating, that's when we see a spike one way or the other. on that. So that's kind of what we'll be seeing into this next year. So I don't think spring, we probably won't see a drop. Maybe by midsummer, we'll see a little bit more of a drop on that. Now, take it with a grain of salt. I have been wrong many times and I don't know what I'm talking about all the time. So just, I would just be prepared for that though. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Has anybody heard anything different? Any interesting questions or anything that they? No.
I just heard from like my clients that I'm reaching out, they're saying, oh yeah, I heard that rates are going down. Rates are starting to go down. Rates are starting to go down. So even sometimes like truth, when people like the media hurts us, like what the truth is, and sometimes it helps us, right? The emotion of rates are going down, whether they've gone down a tenth of a point or a quarter of a point or whatever, doesn't matter. It's the mindset that, hey, I'm willing to have a conversation about getting in the property.
We also be very fair that most people don't even know where the rates are. So when they're saying this to you, it's like the rates are going down. And if you were like, what are the rates at right now? They'd be like, well, I don't know. I mean, that's a fair, like, that's
It's all a feeling,
like,
right?
it's a feeling that they're just seeing this or they're hearing it from everybody. And, I mean, like on every social account, every real estate agent is talking about interest rates. Like, whether it's good, bad, they don't know what they're talking about, or they do know what they're talking about. That's the only thing that people are seeing if they follow real estate agents.
And usually the media is about a month behind, especially with interest rates. So when things happen, they're about a month behind. But that's what I've been using is like the people that I've looked back in the last quarter, like so 90 days, give or take, that really should have probably gotten a little more serious and bought something. This is an opportunity to, get them back and talk to them a little bit more about, okay, what was your why again? Why were you looking to buy? Like, you got 3 roommates and you're sick of them, or your kids are too big for the room, whatever that why is, right? That's the conversation to have with them. Like, now we're in a position where let's get serious again for you guys and let's make that happen for you. So seen some success on that one. So that's what I've been using it for.
Good question. Or like, how to even combat the question about interest rate? Anything, or do you guys think you're on? Someone asks you about it, you're like, we're good. No? Yeah.
So recently again, and I find it confusing, is the difference between rates for commercial lending, investment property versus interest rates for owner occupied. And so how can you best communicate the difference between that to your client?
So essentially, it's all about risk. So lenders see an owner occupied home as less risky than an investor. Because the thought is, investor, if something goes south, they're going to cut and run, right? And that's what's happening. But if it's your home, you're more likely going to try and make that payment. You're going to do everything like that. It's not a business decision. It's about risk. So that's kind of how I factor that, or I explain that, is really, it's the same thing with down payment, right? You're going to see better rates the more you put into a home to a certain point, because it's less risk. They think that they're not going to walk away from X amount of dollars. Same thing as if it's your owner occupied, you live there, is less risky than, if you have a second home or an investment property. If things don't go right in some other part of your world, you're more likely to make a business decision and say, yeah, I got to stop with that one. I got to stop with that one. So that's the simple reason on that.
How does that show up in comparison, like a residential rate versus a commercial rate? Like, is there, I guess, like a normal spread between those, or is it, how's that determined maybe?
It's determined, so we can do up to 4 properties or 4 unit properties residential. Commercial is a different thing. That's more tied to the Fed funds rate. It's not the business that I do. Like, so if you're doing like a sixplex or anything larger, especially for apartment complex, those are actually more to the Fed funds rate, as well as kind of shorter term debt instruments, a little beyond my capacity on that. But with an investment property, it's on that because it's really a little more risky on that. So it's not a hard and fast. It all depends on the rest of the scenario, but you're going to see like a single family home, say it's 6.5 today or 6.625. Faster property, you're probably going to be about a point. You'll have to pay a little bit to get that rate on that. So that's kind of the spread between the two.
we're seeing, things like 3-2-1s on new builds and is there any great product out there for a pre-owned, left 3-2-1s or anything like
Yeah,
that?
we have a 3-2-1, a 2-1, a 1-1. We do a 1-0 rate buster as well. So
What's that one? What's a 1-0 buster?
That's one that I do as a lender. So that's where I'll give 1% lower for the first 12 payments for the client on that one. So if rates 6.625 today, it'll be 5.625 for the first 12 payments on that. Essentially, it's me marketing for a year. I'm paying for that to market and hopefully get the refinance if rates ever get better than that. So on that, but yeah, there's a lot of those. I see a lot of the large lenders are definitely doing some interesting things with their interest rate. A lot of times they're getting like forward money, it's called, right? They'll knock down $1 million and then they'll offer that to their clients rates at, 2 points below market. It's because they're just borrowing it ahead of time. They pay a fee to do that and then they give it out that way and they make their money that way. If you guys have smaller custom builders who maybe don't do the same as a Pulte or Lennar, that type of thing, but do a decent project, we can do that for them too. So they can be competitive and offer, 5.5 where everybody else is, and it's not a buy down. That's the rate. So
And you're doing that on pre-existing homes as well, right?
we can do all the buy downs on pre-existing. With new construction, we can do a forward money. With the seller, an individual, it would be cost prohibitive to try and knock down a bunch of money and then lend out on that. So
I think there's power in that on people that are going, hey, I'm gonna wait for rates to come down this spring. And if we can have a conversation, well, so is everyone else. And the sooner you get it, there's that spot of supply and demand where that's gonna push price. So where do you refinance them and understanding? Maybe
you
it's
can
good to
show-
get in
what
some
we
of
can
those.
do is show them what their net for a seller, right? You can show them like, hey, you can offer it at this little higher, but if you're paying this, you might be competitive and net the same as if you had to lower it to, whatever to be.
Right.
You can kind of play with it and show them that kind of stuff for sure. And I'm happy to run those numbers. I'm doing it for Chad right now. He's trying to win a FISBO. So we're trying to show, what he can do for her, essentially. Question or no?
I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm sure we'll come back.
It happens.
Sorry, you called it a 1-0 what?
We call it the rate buster.
Rate buster.
Yeah, so,
I like that.
yeah, it was, somebody was, I think Rocket or somebody who came out with some they're a way better, marketing company than I am. I'm a better lender, but they're a better marketing company. So they came out with that and we were like, well, we're gonna do that for people. And they stopped doing it, but we still do it because we think it's valuable on that for folks. And it just keeps you engaged with the client too. So.
Any other questions?
All right,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good. So we now have Secret Santa first. I guess I'm gonna take a vote. Would we like to peruse the food and get some, while we do Secret Santa? I'm getting a lot of nods. Okay, so let's go to the back and, what? No.
No,
Why not?
the food's not ready.
Why didn't you tell me that? as I opened it?
I was doing this.
I need to be vocal. I wasn't. All right, let's do the Secret Santa stuff first.
Okay.
And then do we have the sheets of paper for voting?
Yeah, I just have one that we can pass around.
Okay, so let's go take a little tour.
That would be fantastic.
Mike, do you want to head up the tour and you can go through the you're gonna describe your tour better, okay? Yeah, follow the leader of Rick.
This is an equal opportunity.